O Great Spirit, Namaste. Saints and sages of all times, of all places, Namaste. O ye powers that be, the air, the earth, the fire, the water, the ether, Namaste. Ancestors, ancestors, ancestors of all of the lineages to whom we attune, Namaste. Sweep clear our paths, still our minds, still the emotions of the minds. O ye powers that be, we call upon thee at this time to soften, soften, soften the karma. Soften, soften, soften the karmas. May our time together be blessed. May the karmas that we share be softened. Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste Ji. Welcome to my heart, and welcome to our Sunday Sangha. Karma. She'll be coming around the mountain when she comes. It will be coming around the mountain when it comes. We must do all that we can now, at this moment, to soften our beings, so that when the karma comes, we know the right way to respond. We know how to quiet our minds so that we are not rushed off, reacting, and reacting. It takes time, it takes patience, it takes practice. And then when the karma manifests, good karma manifests, the joyful karma manifests, we know how to flow on that river. When the challenging, difficult karma manifests, we know how to flow upon that river. Once upon a yogi time, in the ever-present now, there was a monk, very revered in the village that he lived in. He was a holy man. He practiced his sadhana. He was kind, he was loving, he was compassionate to all of the people who lived in the village. He was considered a wise soul and highly respected, thought so highly of by everyone. One day, a young girl in the village became pregnant. And her father was very, very angry. He hid her in the house until she had the baby. But every day he berated her. Who's the father? Who's the father? Who's the father? You must tell me who's the father. Who did this to you? And the young girl had said to her mama, nobody did this to me, Mom. I'm in love, I'm in love. And the mother said, I don't think you should be telling your father that. Just tell him who did it to you. The baby was born. And in her tiredness, in her fear, in her worry, in her weariness, Papa came in and pressed her as she was looking at the beautiful son who lay in her arms. Who did this to you? Who is the Father? Reverend Monk, she blurted out. Swamiji is the Father. He did that to you? Her Papa never stopped to think, never stopped. The karma raged, the anger raged up within him, and he ran, grabbed his grandson. Not even joyful that it was a grandson, that he had a grandbaby. Grabbed the child, dragged his daughter out of the bed, and ran across the village. Come out here now, you Abadur, he yelled at the top of his lungs. And Swamiji comes and opens the door and says, welcome, congratulations, I see you have a new baby. What do you mean you see I have a new baby? This is your fault. You're responsible. Here, you take it. We cannot handle any more shame in our house. And he drags the daughter off. You can only imagine. The baby's only a few hours old. Swamiji has not been trained to take care of a baby. He had younger brothers and sisters, but he didn't know what to do with a new one. Brings a child in and he's holding it. He goes into meditation. Well, what should I do? What do I need to do? Who is this? It's a child. What does a child need? It's going to need food. I don't know how to do this. So he stops and he reflects, who can help him? And he thinks of an old woman in the village who was very kind and compassionate and very non-judgmental. And so he has a little robe and he wraps the baby in a robe and kind of make a papoose out of it and carries it across the village. Knocks on her door and says, Mother, would you help me? This child was left in my care. And so she teaches him. She helps him. Together they figure out how to feed the child. They figure out the child would like to sleep and what it would like to sleep in. They figure out how to care for the child, how to bathe the child, how to nourish the child. In the meantime, you could imagine all over the village, the father is ranting and raving about what an evil man Swami is. People are gossiping right and left. But there was a young girl, and she heard the rumors. And she said to her Papa and Mama, this doesn't seem right. Something's wrong. Something's wrong. Swamiji is somebody who meditates and he prays and he's devout and we respect him and we love him. Why do we not trust him? Why do we choose to believe the first bad thing someone says about him? And at first her parents brush her off. And then they start questioning. They question, they talk to their friends. Why? Why do we not believe him? Time goes on. Not very long. It seemed like an eternity. It was maybe 3 nights, maybe 7 nights, maybe 10 nights, maybe a new moon to full moon cycle. It seemed like eons for the Swami and the elder woman as they cared for the baby. Everybody would come up to him, say nasty things. Not everybody, many people came up to him and said nasty things, accused him of things, and he just said, "Is that so? Is that so? Is that so?" And seeing his equanimity, seeing that in spite of all of this, in spite of having a crying baby that he was having to figure out how to take care of, not the easiest thing in the world, he looked peace-filled. He looked bliss-filled. He had equanimity. Now, that's not to say he didn't have trouble when he was changing the baby's diapers or trying to get the food just warm enough for the child. But he had equanimity. And they all started to question themselves. They started to question what they had heard, what conclusions they had jumped to, how they had reacted, how the poison of emotionality had swept through their village. They questioned, they questioned, they questioned. Who said this? What did they say? Why did they say this? What did they have to gain from it? Who, what, why? Where did this event supposedly occur? In a very short time, you know what happened. Surely you know the story. The young girl breaks down and cries to her mother and her father and says, "I lied. That baby was not the Swamiji's. Swamiji has been so kind to me, so loving, so good, so helpful, so supportive. No, the father is the boy that I love, the man that I love, the son of the baker. But I didn't want to tell you because you would think he wasn't good enough for me. But he is. He is. He is." Her parents were filled with shame. The father was filled with shame, filled with terrible remorse. He had gone around and talked negatively, badly, said horrible things about the Swami. He had cast stones, verbal though they were, cast stones at the other. All because his mind took off like a monkey. He was so enraged that he failed to see any logic. He failed to see any good. He failed to see the harm of his words, the harm of his actions. And he just kept beating and beating and beating and beating and beating, verbally, mentally, beating his daughter. And then verbally and mentally repeating the same lie over and over and over again until people began to believe him. They lost all sense of their own judgment. They lost all sense of their direction, their inner direction, their outer direction. They lost all sense, and they became swept up in the emotionality of the land, of the village. And so, as you would expect, the father has to swallow his pride. He stops and he sees, this is my grandchild I did this to. This is my daughter I did this to. And look what I did to this person I had such great respect for. Look what I did. I caused people to say negative things about him. I caused doubt to rise in their minds about their spiritual paths, those who were following him. They doubted their own path because of me, because of all of the things that I said that were lies, He takes his daughter, he takes his wife. They go across town to see the baker and the baker's son. And the father apologizes and says, I understand that you are the father of my grandchild, and that you and my daughter love each other. Is this true? Yes, it is true. Then together we must go and bring your child home. The whole family gathers and they go to the ashram. This time, very gently knocking. No pounding on the door this time. Swamiji comes to the door and he's got the baby in his hands, all wrapped up. And the father said, I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. I know that you are not the father. Please forgive me for everything I've said, I've done, I've thought towards you. Please forgive me for all the harm that I've done. Swamiji nods his head, smiles, doesn't give up the baby, smiles. And the daughter apologizes, says the same thing. She said, may I please have my son back? I am so sorry. And I must say, for a minute, the Swami hesitated because he was enjoying having the baby there. It was an experience he'd never expected to have. It was wonderful, just those few nights, trying to look at the needs of another human being who was so new to the earth. But he knew the right thing to do. And he gave the baby back without hesitation. And the family stood in front of him and said, bowing down, please forgive us, please forgive us. And the Swami looked at them and said, you were forgiven before you ever made this error. You were forgiven before you ever made this error. You were forgiven before you ever made this error. And with that, he blessed them and handed the baby to the mother. And the family left, changed. But what about the village, my beloved? What about all of the other people that had been riled up by the lies told by the father? What happened to their lives? What did they see? Some of those people continued to believe the lies because they had heard them screamed so loudly over and over and over and over that their hearts were filled with hate. Their minds were filled with hate. They could not wash it clean. They needed to be able to discern, to see clearly. Some came to the Swami and they learned. They apologized, they thanked him, they learned how to forgive. They learned to train their minds. They learned to turn inward and ascend upward. That village is not a small village in India. That village is your village. It's the village that you live in, which is enormous. That lie, that untruth told by one man around his village is your village. Words said that spread instantaneously around your village. And today that village is the entire earth plane. Not all, but a good portion of the earth plane. Those words are passed along. What does it mean to you spiritually? You hear, you see. What does it mean when someone says the sky is pink, the grass is blue, the corn is purple? What do you do? How do you discern the truth? We must begin now. You must begin now to step aside, to step back and say, what are the rays of discernment that I might use, that I might see clearly the reality, that I might see clearly so that I am not blinded by those who would seek to manipulate me, so that I am not blinded by those who would seek to cripple me. How do they cripple you? Oh, today it's easy, my beloved. It's so easy. The emotionality of the mind runs rampant. Emotionality is worse than the greatest pandemic in the world. It is the pandemic of the modern age. The way that emotionality races through the world, discernment is swept aside. You hear repeated again and again and again an untruth. And at some point, the mind says, well, they've said it. It must be true. On the spiritual path, one must, to avoid stepping down the hole and spraining your ankle or breaking your toe or face planting it down. You must be able to stop and discern the right course of action for you at this time in your life. Now, it's very simple. Go back to the beginning of the story. What precipitated all of this to happen? What precipitated it? Well, the young woman who was in love was afraid. Fear was the first thing. Fear of authority, her father. She went to her mother, and her mother was not able to stand up for her. So it was fear of authority. And then, even though she stood up to authority again and again and again, through that 9 months that she carried the baby, actually it was only the last 4 months that Papa could tell she was pregnant. But what happened? She became tired. Her body was tired. Her body was weary. She was still afraid. She was not comforted. And she was beaten again, verbally, again and again and again and again and again. We must, you and I, develop an antidote to that. And the antidote is affirmation. The antidote is mantra. The antidote is meditation. Free me from my negative thoughts that I do not pass them on to others. Free them, free me. And you've heard me say this months now. Free me from my negative thoughts that I do not pass them on to others. Free them, free me. Free them from their negative thoughts, that they do not pass them on to me. Free me, free them. Free them from their negative thoughts, that they do not pass them on to me. Free me, free them. You must use an affirmation in your life. And must is a strong word. It is extraordinarily helpful if you wish to neutralize the karma, if you wish to gain the skills to neutralize the karma, to recognize that your mind has preferences. Your mind is attached to preferences. That whether you consciously are aware of it, you have picked up the biases and the prejudices of your family, of your culture, of your theology of your childhood, of your race. You have picked up these biases and prejudices. On the spiritual path, those need to be let go of. If you're going to walk the spiritual path to your own enlightenment, you have to let go of those things. It means, in part, there is a necessity to let go of the illusions of the mind. The biggest illusion, the first illusion, the first deception of the mind, I guess, is the need for approval. The need for approval. Now think about this. Here's Swamiji with the bebe. What's the bebe going to do? It can't feed itself. It can't talk. It can't walk. It can't do anything. It needs to do something to get the other to help it. So it learns to smile. It learns if it smiles, or if it's able to laugh. Everybody reacts. Oh, they laugh. Oh, they'll give me food. It learns to cry. If I cry, they'll respond to my needs. But the first time, right when you are born, and you are in this new body as a human, you're seeking the approval of others in all of your behavior, in order to live, in order to survive. And your role, your duty, your responsibility after that is to learn to stand on your own 2 feet, to learn your own wisdom, to turn inward and see and seek your own wisdom, your own insight. Not easily done when you want the approval of others. Because the mind begins to say, well, what does mama want? What does papa want? Does what my boss want? What does my friend want? What does my husband want? My wife want? My lover want? My neighbor want? What do they want of me to accept me? And the longing for acceptance sometimes is so great that we harm ourselves. You know this. Look at your own life and remember the times when you have been harmed, when you have harmed yourself because of the need for acceptance by others. You must gain strength and courage and clarity. So you have the affirmation. What's the next thing you do? Well, you use tarka. Now, if the people in the village had used tarka, they wouldn't have had a problem. Deep, intern reflection. Not casual reflection. Not macinating over something again and again and again and again. But tarka. They said that the Swami got her pregnant. Have I ever seen anything that would indicate that Swamiji would behave like that? Have I ever seen anything that would indicate that? No. Who are they talking about? Use the interrogatory questions. Who? It's the Swami, it's the holy person who's devoted his life. What are they saying? They're saying he acted in a certain way. When do they say he did this? We don't know. Sometimes 9 months ago. Who? What? When? Where? Where did this occur? Where could it have occurred? He doesn't have a big temple to hide out in. He's got a little ashram, tiny little one-room ashram. Who, what, when, where, why would he have done this? How did this happen? And you start to begin to tear all this apart. You see, you look, you discern, you intern, and you begin as you do your tarka on any matter in your life to say, am I asking the right questions? For the way that you ask the questions, my beloved, reveals, it determines what is revealed to you. If you say, they did this, why did they do that? Oh, you have a problem. You have cut off part of your spiritual awareness, of your higher insights, your higher awareness, because you've set up, well, this is how it occurred. This is it. In order to see the reality, we must set aside all of these assumptions. And truly step back and say, what am I trying to learn? What am I trying to discern? I said the need for approval creates a blindness. And it does. It does. You want your brother to approve of you, and there's always been a conflict in your life with your brother. Always, for as long as you've known. He's spoken rudely to you. He's been cruel to you. You haven't gotten along. And you've wanted again and again and again and again to have his approval. And again and again and again, he's hit you upside the head. Not necessarily physically, sometimes physically, but emotionally, again and again and again. And you get into your 60s and you're still doing it. You get into your 70s and you're still doing it. And you have to ask yourself, you get into your 30s and you're still doing it. And you must ask yourself, there must be something wrong here. What can I do differently for a happier outcome? For me. Don't worry about him. And here is the, if you will, the magical transformation that's needed. Because when we begin Tarka, when we begin meditation to discern the wisest course of action at this time for me, you're trying to discern, what am I seeing in this environment? What is, in this case, in this piece of karma that's manifesting, what's the wisest way for me to be? Sometimes it is necessary to say, how do I let go of all of my assumptions about how it should be? And how do I let go of my desiring for an outcome? If your brother has been nasty to you for decades, and you think that buying him presents is going to make him nice to you, the answer is, I would reflect very clearly on whether or not it was worth spending my earth prana to try to buy his favors, because that never works. It's a temporary panacea at best. What is it within you that needs that? Why can you not accept him as he is? That's the fundamental question that we have to ask ourselves. Can I accept the other as they are? Don't have to like them, don't have to be in the circumstance with them, don't have to engage with them, but how can I accept them? The spiritual science of Kriya Yoga gives you the tools that you need to put the emotions of the mind aside. You don't have to be emotional. Now I know it's really hard about that, but you don't have to be. Trust me. You set the emotions aside, and they will come back whenever you like. You don't have to feel as if you're never going to be able to be emotional again. Some people said that to me. If I put my emotion, who am I if I don't have my emotions? Well, put them aside. Feel. Don't emote. Feel. Remember the difference between feeling and emotion. Emotion has a history, my beloved. Feeling has no history. Feeling is attunement to the state of reality of consciousness. Emotion is attunement to your history, to your past. Know that, and you will be able to put the emotions aside. In summary, what have I tried to say to you today? Rest more. You are more easily manipulated when your mind and body are tired. If somebody has said something to you and you've grabbed onto that thought, but your life is still in pain, then maybe you need to go back and look at that thought and say, is that the best thought that I should be relative to at this time? Is that helpful for me? Is that helpful for me? And if the answer is no, but your mind is filled with fear, then momentarily let go of the fear. Turn inward, ascend upward, call upon all the powers that be who are there to assist you. All you need to do is quiet the mind and turn inward and ascend. The helpers are here. The divine ones are here. Your Ishta Devata, your most beloved chosen form of the divine. They are here to help you. Allow them to do so. Work with them. Do the Kriya. Do the reflection. Do the affirmations. Use your mantras. And you will find that what you seek. This morning, we will meditate together and pray together. Prayer is you bringing the concentrated energies of your mind together and offering that with the intention that the karma be softened for whatever situation, for whomever we are praying for. It is you. It is me. It is us together, bringing the energies of our mind, the pranic energies, to a point of singleness and offering that as a blessing into life. You have the capacity to bless. Do so today. You know that around the world, war is escalating. Conflict is escalating. Famine is escalating. Many, many, many karmas are difficult upon the earth at this moment. This beautiful, beautiful garden of God, this place that we call home. Let us send our blessings to those who are in need, including ourselves. Let us gather together and meditate. Sit with your spine erect. as you are able, your hands in the Om Mudra upon your thighs, the index finger and the thumb together. Focus your attention at the sun center, the point between the eyes, and turn your head to the left, exhaling twice. Bring the head back to the center and begin to watch the breath. Using the sipping breath, inhaling as if through a straw. Draw the energy from the limbs of the body to the trunk of the body. From the trunk of the body, draw the energy into the spinal column. From the base of the spine, draw the energy up to the sun center. Now, using that energy as a golden ball of light, move it out in front of you. Expand that golden light and sweep it around your body, moving counterclockwise 3 times, encasing your entire being in golden light. Now expand that light and ascend. Above the room you're in, above the building, above the continent. Ascend. Ascend to the highest place you are able to ascend. Ascend to the high place. Reaching the grove of the meditators. Turn around in consciousness and find yourself a comfortable meditation place. In your mind's eye, you see a path in front of you. Step upon the path. It leads you through a garden. You see that the path ascends to a forest upon a mountainside. The path is clear and easy. Ascend. Smell the trees. Feel the sun beating down. Hear the water. Ascend. 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 You come to a meadow. Crossing the meadow, you see the hummingbirds, the bluebirds. The meadow is filled with blue flowers. Ascend. You return to the high forest. It is cool. The path is easy. The higher you go, the easier the path. You're floating upwards. You see a light in front of you and you float towards the light. It is calling you, it is drawing you. The path opens up to a grove filled with light. Brilliant, brilliant light. You see the light is radiating through crystals, through flowers, through beams of light. You walk into the shrine. It is perfect for you. Filled with light. You walk to the back of the shrine, drawn by the pool of light. Seeing and hearing the waterfall of light. You step into the pool. Your shoes dissolve away. All of the clothing begins to dissolve away as you walk to the waterfall of light. The light pours down upon your crown center. Te Betsu De Baya, Te Betsu De Baya, Te Betsu De Baya, Te Betsu De Baya, Te Betsu De Baya. Pouring over you, pouring through you, filling every cell of your being with light. As your being is filled with light, the karmas dissolve away. They easily dissolve away. Your entire being is filled with light. Breathe in the light. Accept the light. Let go of the difficult karmas. Let go of the karmas. Your body slightly ascends as you leave the waterfall of light. Walking to the pool of light, you find yourself clothed anew. Breathing in the light, hearing the light, feeling the light, sensing the light, absorbing the light. You walk through the shrine. You return now. Return to the high place of the meditators. The high place upon the mountain. You've reached the high place of the meditators upon the mountain. O ye powers that be, join with us. Join the circle of the meditators. In the center is the light of Kriya, the flame of life, the flame of light. As we offer our meditative prayer, in your mind's eye, see the circles of light descending upon the earth and upon those for whom we pray. O ye powers that be, join with us. We send our blessings to Mother Earth, the home upon which we reside. May this light go around her, through her, upon her, that all that she needs be given unto her. Let us feel our gratitude for this home upon whom we rest. We will use the Om Shanti mantra to send forth the circles of light. Om Shanti 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 He, the Shanti's meaning peace beyond all understanding. And let us chant this together. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And two more times. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. For all of those upon the earth who are living in conflict, who are living in fear, who are living in insecurity of home, of water, of food, of finances, of health. Whatever insecurity, whatever lack, may it be filled. May it be balanced. May the karma be softened and softened and softened. And let us chant the Om Shanti mantra 3 times, seeing the circles of golden light, blue light, descending upon the earth and upon all of those beings. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. for all of those souls who are living in prisons. Whatever the cause of confinement, for all of the others who are confining. May they be free. May they be free from their suffering. May they be free from their pain. May they be free from the cruelty, from the ill health, from the sickness. Again, the Om Shanti 3 times. Om Shanti, 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 Om Shanti, 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. O ye powers that be, thou knowest better than we the needs of all of the souls, all of the beings upon the earth. Thou knowest better than we that which is needed. We ask thee to send forth thy blessings, to join with us that the karma be softened. The Om Shanti again. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. O ye powers that be, there are needs beyond the earth. There are needs in all realms of existence. Needs we do not know, we cannot see. We call upon thee to send forth thy blessings to all of those souls in need. Call forth all of those beings who can be of help, that the needs be softened and the needs be met. May our prayers, our petitions radiate forth to all of the universes, that the drop of light that we send join all of the other drops of light, and the blessings be felt. And let us chant the Om Shanti 3 times here. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Arhit Om. Be thou blessed, be thou blessed, be thou triply blessed. Thou art blessed. Become an ever greater blessing unto all of those who enter your aura. Namaste Ji. Namaskar. Thank you particularly for your blessings today, for your presence today. Remember as you walk through your day to continue to chant the Om Shanti mantra. As you walk through your week, to chant the Om Shanti mantra. The blessings are particularly needed at this time, as you can see, as you know, as you can hear. Namaste Ji.